What is up, Bills Mafia? Today we're going to be going over the 4 Bills position battles to watch in training camp. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Anyways, guys, you heard me right. We're going to be talking about the 4 Bills position battles to watch in training camp. And once again, man, I want to send a shout out to Bills Wire. Man, they are always on top of these things, man. They do great articles. If you don't know about them, now you do. Go check them out, Bills Wire. So let's go ahead and start with this. And they're going to start right away with that receiver group. The one I keep telling you is my biggest question mark. So let's see what they have to say. Wide receiver Gabe Davis took over wide receiver 2 duties last season, and it has been a transition for him in the full-time role. He will aim to secure his hold on that position, but will have plenty of healthy competition. One of those in the mix due to his ability to play inside and outside is wide receiver Khalil Shakir, who will be entering his second NFL season. Shakir has a leg up on the new competition with a year with the team and its offense under his belt. A strong offseason that is generating some buzz and the trust of quarterback Josh Allen. Still, new free agents additions Trent Sherfield has also earned praise from Allen and could turn into a second option behind Stephon Diggs. Fellow free agent Deontay Hardy is looking to compete for playing time and has been a big upside as well. Tight end Dawson Knox projects to continue to be an impactful player as a big target alongside wide receiver Stephon Diggs. And he'll now be joined by elite multi-position receiving tight end and first-round 2023 NFL draft pick Dalton Kincaid. Suffice it's to say, then it's always factoring in the catch and run capability as hybrid receiving running backs James Cook and Nyheim Hines. There will be plenty of competition for playing time and targets in the passing game. No doubt. There's going to be some battles in training camp at the receiver group position. However, I still believe Gabe Davis is going to be the number 2. I understand what Bills Wire is saying here, that there will be some competition. I understand that. But Gabe Davis right now in his career with the players that we added is a step up or a step ahead of those receivers, in my opinion. I felt like last season, when given the wide receiver 2 role, Gabe Davis kind of fell short of expectations, but I didn't think he played terrible either. He needs to work on his catch percentage. He needs to work on his drop percentage as well. And if he can fix those 2 things, Gabe Davis can be a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL, which is a solid number 2. By the way, we haven't had 2 receivers in the same year go over 1,000 yards since Eric Moulds and Peerless Price in 2002. It's been a very long time, 21 years. So we need that to happen, and Gabe Davis needs to step up, and I believe he will. It's his contract year, right? So he's going to want some money, so he's going to show out his best, man, and I believe he will. Now, the rest of the receiver group, Trent Sherfield, you all know how I feel about him. I think that was a great pickup by the Buffalo Bills, and I think this guy can actually be at least a 500-yard receiver on this team, which is very good. And then you got Khalil Shakir, who I have Listen, man, I really believe Khalil Shakir can be a very good receiver in the NFL. But it is year 2. He still has to get that trust from Josh. We'll see what his sophomore season looks like, right? If he has a sophomore slump, or he goes up, right? I believe he will trend up because, man, last season, I will say one thing about Khalil Shakir. He was he almost felt like he's been there, done that, almost like a veteran. The way he talked to the media, the way he played on the field, right? The moment was never too big for him. Just love Khalil Shakir, what he brings to this team. And I believe this guy will be a good player in the NFL. Now, you also got Hardy. Hardy actually showed flashes of being very good with New Orleans, but can he stay healthy? That's the big question for Hardy. He's been, once again, nagging injuries have followed his career. Then you got the tight ends, Dawson Knox, who had a very good 2021 season and a bit of a drop in 2022. But was it all his fault? I don't think so. I think he was used mainly as a blocking tight end, and he wasn't involved in the offense as much because of that. Now that we added some help at the offensive line, maybe Dawson Knox can return to what we saw in 2021. Now, Dalton Kincaid, very interesting player. Man, I think this guy's going to be an absolute stud in the NFL. But first-year tight ends, rookie tight ends, they normally don't ball out, right? And we shouldn't really put that much pressure on him to do so. I trust me when I tell you guys, I think this guy's going to be an absolute dog in the NFL for years to come. But right now, first season, I wouldn't put so much pressure on him to be the man. Can he be the man? Sure, of course he can. But let's see how fast he comes along with the NFL, right? And this offense, right? And the play calling, right? How fast he catches on. And how much Josh and him create a connection together, right? Chemistry, right? If that can happen and he can get all this down quickly, very possible he has a good year, right? But we'll see. But yeah, man, listen, man, it's still a big question mark, this receiving group. It really is. They got a lot to prove, man. Everybody except for Stephon Diggs has a lot to prove. So let's get to the next battle. And they have secondary. Very true. Very true, guys. Let's see what they have to say about this. During this offseason, GM Brandon Beane explained Buffalo's approach towards how they scout players for its secondary, and that they target talent with both corner and safety capabilities and traits who could develop into either position. As such, between the players that have been added in recent off seasons to the defensive backs group, there's some strong competition brewing. At the corner, Dane Jackson. That's all right, Bills Wire. We forgive you. At the corner, Dane Jackson has been a key, consistent contributor for the Bills and a favorite of head coach Sean McDermott. What's more, he's proven to be capable starter filling in for Trey White during a year-long recovery from injury. And across from White, while 2022 first-round draft pick Kaiir Elam navigated his first season as a Bill. While Elam will look to take the next step and assume CB2 duties full-time, they keep saying Cook, but it's not, Jackson can continue to be a key role and rotation player behind them. Versatile players like Christian Benford will continue to develop. Benford could do the same with the safety position. Very true. Where new additions like Taylor Rapp and Zane Anderson will compete for time behind Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, with players like DeMar Hamlin and Dean Marlowe. The group has become more flush with talent to make it one of the more competitive ones to watch. Man, they really threw me off with the Dane Cook. Dane Jackson, but we get it, Bill Swire. Mistakes happen. I make them a lot. So, once again, man, listen, Christian Benford, I have a feeling that he is going to be eventually a safety for this Buffalo Bills team. Right now, he is a cornerback, but I have a feeling they are going to groom him into becoming a safety once Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde move on from the Buffalo Bills. But right now, he is a CB. I'm interested to see how that goes because he did start over Kaiir Elam, as you all well know, last season, week 1. Now, Kaiir Elam, first-round pick, Florida Gators, man. I believe he has a lot of talent. Just didn't get it all down by, in camp last season heading into week 1, and maybe that's why they put Benford in over Kaiir. Maybe he was just a bit of a slow learner, or just that maybe it was wasn't processing as fast as it was for Benford. So I believe in Kyer Elam. What I saw from him this past season was good stuff. He made some mistakes, but man, physical corner, can get to the ball when beaten. Listen, that's what we need. We need more physical corners. Trey White hopefully will return as the Trey White we know. And Dane Jackson had a rough season last year. But listen, guys, he is a 6th-round pick or 7th-round pick, I believe. And, we shouldn't have all these crazy expectations for Dane Jackson. He's been a good corner, average to good corner. I kind of have him on that level of Levi Wallace, right? A guy that was undrafted in Levi. I give him all the credit in the world for earning a spot on the 53 and actually being a starter. And same with Dane Jackson. You got to give him that love for just earning that, right? But I just feel like Kyer Elam, listen, man, it's time for Sean McDermott to have a little bit of faith in the guys you draft and go ahead and give Kyer that number 2 spot beside Trey. And then you got, of course, Teron Johnson, one of the best slot corners in the NFL, in my opinion. The dude's been reliable, healthy. Love Teron Johnson. So we have good corner depth. But it's going to be interesting to see who gets that CB2. I think it's going to be Kyer Elam. You drafted him 1st round for a reason. The guy's shown you that he is capable of doing his job on the field when his number was called. So let's put a little bit of faith in him, Sean, and get him beside Trey this upcoming season. All right, so let's see what the third battle is at camp, and that is pass rush. All right, so the timeline for when the offensive line addition for the Bills could become competitive is less clear, while the time for the competition in the Bills' pass rush position group is now. That makes them the 3rd position battle to watch in training camp. In the absence of Von Miller, Buffalo pass rush was scrutinized by the end of last season for underperforming and underproducing, as there was no one who really stepped up to fill that void. In the defensive ends group, Shaq Lawson played well enough to earn a return this year, and Gregory Rousseau will lead the pack in a year where he will be especially motivated with an extension or new deal looming on the horizon. Behind him is A.J. Epinesa, and behind them is Boogie Basham. Enter Enter Leonard Floyd, Von Miller's Super Bowl champion teammate with the Rams and the Bills' surprise late free agency addition, who appears to possibly have been waiting for the team to work out the cap space economically to sign him. Considering his stated preference for Buffalo and decline of bigger offers from other clubs, he now joins Rousseau at the top of that group. Even with such a strong rotation, it will be a competitive one. If Miller needs any additional time to work his way back on the field from last year's season-ending knee injury, Leonard also provides coverage at that position. That was missing during the 2022 campaign. In the middle, tackle Ed Oliver will be competing to justify his extension and continue to take the next step as a pro. And tackle Tim Settle will aim to develop into the type of talent the Bills saw when they signed him to a 2-year pact last offseason. Behind them, there will be internal competition for the middle linebacker position vacated by Tremaine Edmonds between Tyrell Dotson, Terrell Bernard, A.J. Klein, and possibly rookie Dorian Williams. Time will tell whether a single player will take on starting duties or if multiple players will share the responsibilities. But this position battle is one to watch, as it could have greater implications for future roster moves as well. I agree. Listen, man, the one spot, first let's start with Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, unbelievable pickup, and a guy that, I can't wait to see Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and Rousseau on the field at the same time. They're going to cause some major havoc. Guys, don't forget, Leonard Floyd has averaged 9 sacks in the last 3 seasons. He seems to be getting better right, as he ages, which is odd, right? It's supposed to work the opposite way. But Leonard Floyd has been doing his job on defense, and that was a great pickup. He actually took less to come to Buffalo. Awesome, man. He's only here for 1 year, though. So, man, Bills, let's get the job done. But as Von Miller returns, right, will he return week 1? I don't think he will. But I will say he did return week 1 when he had the ACL surgery in Denver. So it's a possibility, but I rather not rush it because you got to remember when he did the ACL, he was very young, right? Now he's a little older, right? You don't want to rush him back and then cause another injury or just don't want that, right? So we have Leonard Floyd now who can back him up for now, and then when Von's healthy at week 5, put him in there. And then do the rotation with Leonard Floyd. I'm good with that. Rousseau, by the way, only getting better. I'm telling you guys, he had 8 sacks last year. You could see him going up and up as far as his ability goes as a pass rusher. Dude is getting bigger, learning more, attending the Von Miller camp. I'm telling you guys, Rousseau's going to be a problem in the NFL years to come, man, because he's still raw at that position. Now, the middle linebacker position is interesting, right? A.J. Klein, Bernard, Dotson, Dorian Williams. I am rooting for Dorian Williams to start. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have a feeling this year McDermott is going to do a bit of a rotation at the middle linebacker position. I don't know if one guy actually wins outright the position. That's just my opinion. I would hope, though, that he gives Dorian Williams the opportunity to start. But once again, they're all a lot of young players there. And A.J. Klein, I think is just too limited in what his abilities are to be a starting middle linebacker for this team. I know Sean McDermott loves him, but he's a good role player, a good rotational guy, but we can't have him as starting MLB. I can't do it, man. So let's move on to the final. And the final position is exactly what I'm talking about. Middle linebacker. In the middle, on either side of center, Mitch Morse, tackle Ed Oliver will be competing to justify his extension and continue to take the next step as a pro. And tackle Tim Settle will aim to develop into the type of talent that Bills saw when they signed him to a 2-year pack last offseason. Behind them, there will be a competition going on in the middle linebacker position. Oh, I already read that. I apologize. I'm sorry. Oh, no, this is it. Okay, it's the same. It seems like it's the same thing. Vacated by Tremaine Edmonds between Dotson, Bernard, Klein, and possibly rookie Dorian Williams. Time will tell whether a single player will take on. I thought I read all this. It's weird because it does say middle linebacker, and then up above, it did say it said pass rush. So, guys, forgive me, but their article is a little messed up there. Bills Wire, but I still love you. But yeah, so I guess we'll continue what I was talking about, the middle linebacker position. Hey, I'm not going to edit this because you know why? It's a blooper and I'll leave it in there. And it's not even my fault. Not my fault. But guys, anyways, listen. Once again, middle linebacker position, I really feel like it's going to be more of a rotation this year with Sean McDermott. I think he's going to, and I almost feel like he wants to do that. I think he wants to send waves of different style sets of linebackers in there. Klein's different than a Bernard, right? Dorian Williams a little bit different than Bernard, right? So, and then not to mention that, you got Rapp, who is a safety and actually a linebacker as well. He's like, he could do either position. He actually prefers linebacker going in the box. So look for Rapp also to be a linebacker, middle linebacker somewhere in the season as far as rotation goes. I could definitely see that as well. So middle linebacker this year, I don't know if we're going to have a true number one. I think it's going to be more of a rotation. I think almost two by scheme. Depends on who we play, what style offense we're playing against. If they're a run-heavy team, pass-heavy team, you could see more of Klein in there, right? You could see more of Dorian Williams one game. You could see more of Bernard one game. We'll see. I'm very interested to see what McDermott does at the middle linebacker position, but I really believe it's going to be a rotation, guys. So anyways, guys, what is your thoughts on this? Comment below. Very curious. And tonight, by the way, we are back live on Mondays at 9 p.m. on Mafia Sports Report. And if you're on Twitter, Buffalo Fan Base, which is the official Bills Mafia Twitter account. If you haven't added them, then what are you doing? Go ahead and add them. But we will be on tonight at 9 o'clock. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be going over the whole offseason and saying, hey, is this the best Buffalo Bills offseason under McBean? I think it is. I really do. I think this is the best offseason in the McBean era. So what do you guys think, man? Tune in tonight, 9 o'clock. Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.